Hey guys, welcome back. So made another trip to the track. Um, More personal best for the car and for me even. This car is so much faster than anything I've had. Everything is improvements for me and best times. So that's pretty awesome. Met a couple cool people at the track. Met a guy, had a Max and his dad. I'm sorry, I can't remember your dad's name, Max. Uh, Super nice guys. Max had a car set up almost very similar to mine, except for nitrous and HP tuners. 6-liter 4L80E, Mustang, similar suspension setups. His was a little more figured out than mine. He was cutting some 1.360 foots. Thing sounds nasty, launches nasty. It's pretty cool. It was nice meeting you, Max. Hope you're watching this. Other guy was Johan, and he was a huge help. He actually stayed back and helped me with a bunch of stuff, gave me some advice, taught me some things to be looking for in the tuning. So super nice to meet you, Johan. Thanks for the help. I appreciate it. He's got a really cool car too. It's a Cutlass. I don't remember what year, but it's got a K24 manual turbo swap in it. And to hear those sounds coming out of a Cutlass is crazy sounding. Super cool guy though. So I appreciate it, and cool car. It's the gutless Cutlass if you want to do some hashtagging. It's pretty cool to take a look at. Anyway, so from there, we'll get into what we did. We went, I was planning on going for the pro test and tune up there. They do a little bit better prep track, or track prep. And I got there late, just running late. So I think I was only there for about an hour and a half. So I stayed for the later street session too. So let's get into the time slips and go from there. So first pass left at 22:50. The first two passes, really, I didn't have data logging or anything on it, so the laptop was acting up. I couldn't get it to work. I ended up getting it to work for the later sessions, but first two passes didn't get any data logs on them. And so first pass was a 172 60 foot, 734 at 96, and the eighth, and 1143 at 120 in the quarter. The second one was a 174 60 foot, 738 at 95, and 1150 at 119. So I hot lapped that. That's the discrepancy between the two. The DA was pretty good on these, 324 feet and 309 feet respectively. 7-8 pounds of boost is what we were running there. So that gets us into the evening session, the street session. So what's good about that is I had a couple hours between those. So I was running a full exhaust catalytic 3-inch cat, 3-inch muffler, dumps right in front of the rear axle. So I dropped that off of there. I've made it so I can turn my one downpipe part out, and it kicks out the side, so it's not dumped underneath the car. And so we did that, upped our launch RPM to 2,600, and made a huge improvement in our 60 foot, 1519 60 foot. The other thing we did is, because we dropped the exhaust, was I backed my boost controller all the way out. I just have a manual boost controller. Didn't know what it was going to do, so that was only on 5 pounds of boost. We went 1519 60 foot. I went 7.2 at 95 in the eighth, and then 1133 at 120 in the quarter mile. DA is getting really good. We're at a negative 115 feet on that. So personal best again at only 5 pounds of boost, where we were running 7 to 8 pounds of boost on the first one. That was pretty freaking cool. Getting excited. I think we're going to run a 10. So this next pass, that first pass, I forgot to run a data log. I kept on forgetting to hit the data logs on everything once I did get the laptop working again. Next pass though, I had looked down, I knew it was only like 5 pounds of boost, so I turned the boost controller in. I had backed it out 4 turns. I turned it in 3 just to see what that would do. And left it at the launch at 2,600 RPM. And 158, 60 foot, so a little bit less, still pretty much the same, still in the 1.5 range there. And our first time dipping into the sixes and the eights, 682 at 100. And that's the first time I've ever been 100 miles an hour in the eighth mile, too. So, personal best there. And I went 10.73 at 125 miles an hour. I was not expecting that, I'll be honest. That was pretty cool. I smashed into those 10s easily. So that one. The next pass, again, forgot to hit the data log, but we upped the RPM to 2,800 RPM and went to 1,534 60 foot. A little ways out, it felt like it shook the tire a little bit. So on the next one, I dropped it back down a little bit, but went 676 at 102, even more mile an hour, and a better eighth mile, and then 1059 at 127. And that ended up being our best pass of the night for the quarter mile. Next pass, I went, we dropped the RPM back down because on that 153, right in there at that 60 foot mark, it shook the tire a little bit. So I dropped the RPM back down on the launch to 27 and cut our best 60 foot of the night and ever, I think, is a 1,493 in the 60 foot, which is freaking crazy. The eighth mile, we improved a little bit. It was a 674 at 101, down on mile an hour a little bit there. And then we went 10.6 1 at 126. Again, a little bit slower, down a mile an hour. We'll show the data log. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but freaking awesome. Solid 10-second car. I could not be more excited about it at this point. Obviously, the suspension changes made a huge difference. We knocked off on this time. We knocked close to 3/10 off of our 60 foot in the change we made. So well worth the effort that we put in there. Turning around, we're going to turn on the data logs, do some comparisons between the two best ones I have on the data log are really the only two data logs I have to compare are on the 10.73 and the 10.61. I didn't get a data log on the 10.59, unfortunately, because I'm dumb and kept on forgetting to hit the button. So let's get into it, compare it to that, and talk about what we found when we got back home a little bit. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, I was going to try to do a comparison log. It just, when I tried to video it, it didn't show it. So I'm going to show one and then I'll show the other and point out what I'm seeing. So this is the 1073, which was before our 1050. And you can see lost at roughly 2,600 RPM. And everything's real smooth here. The dark red is, or this red right here, is the RPM, everything's smooth. Blue is the AFR, fluctuating a little bit, but that's typical. And then our boost curve here, it's fairly flat. Like that's, all of that is between 8.5 and 9.5 PSI. You can see it goes up at the very end in fourth gear a little bit, which I think I should probably stay in third, but it goes up to 9.5. But for the most part, it's all real steady and smooth. And show you what we found in the 1061 data log. Now you can see on these same lines, the air fuel really fluctuates a ton through here. And the closed loop is doing a bunch of work on this one. Even after we had made changes, after we had leaned it out a little bit, because it was adding on the 1059, it was still doing a work and adding in just as much. The boost is kind of fluctuating all over the place. It's down. And then even the RPM out here is kind of not so steady, kind of waving up and down. When I got it back home, I was trying to figure out what's going on with the fuel. Is now the fuel pressure is down to 40 psi, and no matter what I do with the fuel pressure regulator, it is staying at 40 psi. Check the fuel filter; it doesn't seem to be clogged. I can blow through it. I ordered another filter anyway, and we're going to go from there. I'm not sure if it's going to be the pump or maybe something with that regulator. Cheap regulator, but it's a Walbro, one of the Hellcat fuel pumps in the back. So we got to figure out what's going on with that. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the Mustang for the season as far as going to the track at all. But I think that's going to be it. Let me turn you guys around and wrap it up. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. Click the like, subscribe if you like what you're seeing. Facebooks, Instagrams, Facebooks. Post your guys' projects and what you guys got going on. I like seeing that stuff. Nobody's done it yet. Somebody do it. Anyway, again, big thanks to Johan. It was also great meeting Max and his dad. I'm sorry, I can't remember your dad's name, Max. But hopefully we'll get together next year, and see you guys next time. Later.